So in amongst all the Facebook woes and problems, which is now hopefully over, the Apple Watch experiment ended. Look, it's gone. And to be honest, I don't think I really miss it, eh? So look, seeing as there's only, hang on, look, I have Twitter open here because that's where I was recording the results of the experiment. I have a whole 9 followers, so chances that any of you or most of you saw the results of the Apple Watch experiment, like Scrapyard Techie tries Apple Watch, Scrapyard Techie being me, the Apple Watch being the lightish red thing I wore on my wrist for a few days, chances that you saw it's probably not so high. I did find out right at the end though, that turns out the watch wasn't actually pink. It was just the band. Once you removed the band, the color was actually gold aluminium. So go figure, or gold aluminum if you're from America or whatever. Yeah, here in Australia we have an extra I. It's aluminium. I don't know what's with that. Anyway, same with solder and solder. Well, what the heck? There's an L in there, right? Anyway, I'm not going to get into that argument because, yeah, let's just leave that the heck alone. All right, so I had for what, a period of 4 or 5 days or something, a Apple Watch Series 3 38mm GPS and LTE version. So look, this is what happened. So besides it being a lovely shade of light red, which was interesting, a few people kind of looked at it. Nobody really mentioned anything about it, besides my kids who really loved it, which makes sense when you have 2 daughters. So look, first setup was really simple, but straight from the get-go, it was pretty obvious that it wasn't going to be a standalone device. It is heavily reliant on your phone, and not only that, it will only really work properly with an iPhone, which makes sense. But the thing that didn't really make sense to me was that you couldn't link it to an iPad either, only an iPhone. Which I guess now that I think about it, that kind of makes sense, but you know, why not be able to link to both and look up data from it on both and configure it from both? I don't know, maybe it's just me. Probably because I get a lot of phone calls, like running business. A lot of the time I'll grab my iPad and do stuff on that while I'm on the phone, or yeah, stuff like that. I don't know. But I guess who's going to be configuring your phone while you're, configuring your watch while you're on the phone? I don't know. Look, it would just be nice to have that option. What else can be, what else is there? You can't configure everything from the watch itself. A lot of the configuration has to be done on the phone, which was also something that I was not expecting. But that's okay, I guess. I already mentioned iPad. Okay, I had a problem with reminders, so I couldn't get Siri to create a reminder for me from my watch to my phone, which I tried on my phone a few days earlier, like prior to buying the watch, and that didn't work either. So that wasn't really the watch's fault, that was just something that I found in the process. Turns out I had to turn iCloud off for reminders, no, turn it on for reminders, then turn it off, tell it to remove all the data in that process, and then do it again. But that had no, like, that was nothing to do with the watch itself. That was just something when I was trying to do things with it. What else? Currently got the, what? Nope. Yeah, it turns out it won't work properly with an Android phone, which is not surprising. Okay, the other thing, it had LTE or cellular connection in the watch. So I was thinking, right, somehow we've got to fit a really tiny SIM card in there. So what are we down to? Nano SIM? I was thinking you've got to be able to put a nano SIM in it somewhere, right? Turns out it uses an eSIM. So there is no physical SIM card. eSIM comes from your phone provider if they support that. Turns out my provider, being Telstra, does, but you've got to pay an extra $5 a month for that, which is the same as a data share SIM, although I heard they got rid of that. So it was the same as a data share SIM, which I have for my iPad and my 4G modem. So that's okay, but I couldn't then take that SIM and put it in there. I had to actually pay another $5 a month. Now look, I chose not to do that, but to use the cellular features, that's what you have to do, which was completely new to me. The iPhone 11 was announced the other day, and I saw briefly that it mentioned eSIM, so I don't know if it now only takes eSIMs or if it's a dual SIM thing, because I think the iPhone XS was like that, or XS, or whatever you want to call it. That's just excessive. Yeah, I don't know about that, so I'll have to look into that one. I may need an eSIM if I upgrade to an iPhone 11. And look, I'm on an iPhone 7, it's probably time for an upgrade. So anyway, that's a topic for a different day. What else? This was interesting. The watch only had Wi-Fi capabilities for 2.4 gigahertz networks, not 5, which I found really weird because every other Apple device that I've ever used has always had support for 2.4 gigahertz and 5 gigahertz Wi-Fi. That may not mean a lot to any of you non-techies out there, but yeah, go look that up if you want to know about that. But I always prefer to use 5 gigahertz wherever possible because there's less people using it, less devices using it, and just less interference, even though technically you get or can get less distance out of it. Yeah, like I said, if you want to know more about that, you can go look it up, but I'm not going into more detail than that. I found the 38mm screen was a little bit too small. I would have preferred the larger. I think there's 42, 44, 48, something like that mil versions. So if I was going to get one again, then I'd probably do that. What else is there? Battery life was actually pretty good. I was not expecting to have more than, say, well, I was expecting to have far less than 50% at the end of the day, but I think the lowest that I got down to after using it all day was about 40-something%. So that wasn't too bad, because I've explained before and said before that I get a lot of notifications. Watch notifications were interesting though. I found that if your phone is unlocked, then the notification would come up on your phone, but it wouldn't come up on your watch, which I thought was pretty clever. Until I was on a phone call and was getting notifications and they weren't coming up on my watch. And I'm like, well, how do I see it now? Because I'm on the phone. Yeah, anyway, maybe that was a configuration thing or just a glitch, because I'm pretty sure I did try that again later and I'm pretty sure it did work. So I don't know. I don't know if there was an update in the middle, so I don't know, like in the middle of the days that I was trying it, so I don't know if that was pre-update, post-update. Either way, something, if I had the thing longer, I'd watch out for a little bit more. I was wondering, okay, text input. Text input, you can do voice to text, and that works pretty well. I only did that with a few short things. But the other thing you can do is what they call scribble. So if you want to write something, you've got to write it by scribbling on the screen, one letter at a time. And that got really old really quickly. Now look, the only thing I really had to do that for was for Wi-Fi passwords. I did post and say, hey, is there any way to enter text from your phone to your watch? And then I realized that was a really redundant question, because usually you're using your watch when you can't use your phone or don't want to use your phone, right? So yeah, to enter from there to there, that's kind of dumb. You're technically doing it the other way around. You're entering from your watch to your phone to send out. Anyway, but it turns out, being a smartwatch, there are a couple of things that are really smart about it. It actually picked up any saved Wi-Fi passwords and copied them across. There was only one network that I had to connect to that wasn't saved on my phone. So it was just that one that happened to be the first one that I tried, because it was 2.4 gigahertz, and like I said, I prefer to use 5. But yeah, that was about it. So it automatically transferred my Wi-Fi password across. So that was pretty cool. The other thing too, I set a passcode on it thinking, oh man, now I'm going to have to set a passcode enter the passcode every time I want to see something on the phone. And like, I was expecting to do that every time like I woke it up or tried to look at something, but no, I only had to enter it after I'd taken the watch off. So if I take the watch off, then try to do something on it, then it will ask me for the passcode. But if I put the watch on, enter the passcode, it won't ask me for the passcode again until the next time I take it off. Well, that was pretty clever. I'm like, well, who's gonna, like, you know, try and do stuff on your watch, like, while you're wearing it? They're gonna take it off your wrist first, in which case you need the passcode. That actually made a lot of sense to me. What else was there? Do not disturb mode can be mirrored or synced between your iPhone and your watch, so you can turn it on or off between the two. So if you turn on do not disturb mode, which my phone does automatically at 5:30 after we're closed, so after that I'll go home, see the family, have dinner and stuff, and try and get stuff done. So I would check my phone between things instead of it interrupting me. So that was cool. My daughter was able to pick up using the watch really quickly, like with it on my wrist. Like on the weekend I was just sitting down or lying down or something, and she'd grab my wrist and start playing with it, and she picked it up really quickly. So that was really cool. what else was there? Oh, you can't change notification sounds. So whatever the default sounds are, that's it. You're stuck with it. If you don't like it, too bad, so sad. And I really didn't like that. I mentioned on Twitter that I was looking forward to, well, how am I supposed to make my watch, sound like Windows XP now? Not that I would have, but I'd like to have had that option. But yeah, that just wasn't there. After that, then Facebook played up significantly. What else? Oh yeah, when I went to sell it, looking it up, there was no pink color. It wasn't even a rose gold. Turns out the frame is actually gold aluminium, which Jacob pointed out looks more like a coppery kind of color. So yeah, if you look back at the photos, it does actually look like that, but the pink, like in person, the pink band, sorry, lightish red band, sort of tricks you into thinking the whole thing's pink. It's really weird. It's like an optical illusion of some kind, I guess. But yeah, it was cool, because obviously whoever bought it wanted the pink, because it was a chick. I don't really know if there'd be that many guys chasing a pink watch, but who knows in this day and age, maybe there is. I'm not one of them though. Pink's not my color. Look, black. Black is my color, or lack thereof. But anyway, if pink's your thing, then you could have bought it off me, but too late now because it's gone. Anyway, so after all that, I listed it for sale on Facebook Marketplace because that seems to be the quickest way to sell stuff at the moment. And then Facebook played up, so I saw notifications coming in. Couldn't reply to any of them. Just all these people. This person has messaged you about the Apple Watch ad. I'm like, yeah, great. I can't get in, I can't see. So like a day and a half later, when I could finally get back in, I had to apologize to everybody and tell them, look, Facebook was stuffed, couldn't see a message, couldn't reply to you, I'm so sorry. And then got back to everyone. Someone made me an offer, I accepted. They came and got it within like 30 minutes and it was gone. So yeah, I sold it for slightly more than I bought it for too. So that's a win because I used my flip money for that. So that was good. Yeah, I don't know what I'll try next. Mr. Scrapyard Techie and I are still doing the ClickFunnels stuff, but so far behind now on that it's not funny. So I think we're just going to take that at our own pace and do it as we can. Although we have clients now who want us to actually set up that kind of thing for them. So maybe not just as we like, it's more as they like. But that's good because that means progress for the dot mill. Also good. But yeah, okay, the verdict was with the Apple Watch, like for the amount of money that they're asking, I wouldn't pay that money to have something like that sit on my wrist all day just to check notifications. I haven't decided if I'm going to try another brand smartwatch yet. I might not. I don't know. I don't think it was that useful. Like for the first maybe half a day, I missed being able to flick my wrist and see whatever the notification was that I just felt buzz in my pocket. But that was about it. After that, didn't really miss it. So yeah, I might just go without because it wasn't really all that helpful. I think it was more like a luxury. It wasn't a need, but it was a nice to have. But I wouldn't pay that money to have it. Yeah. Anyway, if you have an opinion on that, if you have a smartwatch and couldn't live without it, if you are along the same lines of thinking and agree with me, it's like it's a luxury, you don't really need one. Either way, post your thoughts on wherever you're seeing this, and I'd be interested to know, what do you think of the smartwatches? I'm, yeah, not seeing the need for one in my life right now. Anyway, if you want to see more of this tech ranting, because apparently that's what I'm doing now, it's 13 and a half minutes, you can follow or subscribe on whatever platform you're seeing this on, and I hope to see you next time. Thanks, bye.